Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Halloween, everybody. In the spirit of Halloween, today I'm going to be having a very special guest host. I've never had her on the show before, so without further ado, drumroll please, the co-hostess with the ghost mostest, graciously welcome Spirit, the ghost in my house. Say hello to everybody, Spirit. So that thunder and lightning, that is Spirit. It's a sunny day here. That's why, the neighbors don't come over much. They're a little creeped out by us. But this is only how she communicates when she's feeling shy. She just needs to warm up a little bit. You will hear from her soon. And you may even see her. Or have you already? So today, for Halloween, we're going to make grotesque yet somehow adorable eyeball cake pops. You guys have to help me out though. So Spirit is a great help, but she does try to steal the treats before they're done. So if you see anything suspicious, please shout out to me. Let me know. She's very tricky because she can be invisible. She can make objects float. So it's really hard to catch her before she gets it. Hold on one second. I forgot to get my gloves. Okay, I'm back. Spirit and I decided to make my cream cheese frosting and my classic red velvet cake for these cake pops because Spirit loves red velvet cake and because it's red, so it's perfect for the inside of an eyeball. Hey, where'd the cake go? Spirit! Oh, she drives me crazy, but she saves me a lot of money on electrical bills, so I can't complain. If you're liking this video, please let me know by clicking the thumbs up button. And if you'd like to learn how to bake and decorate more sweets, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell to receive notifications every time I post a new video. Time to create. We're going to take our red velvet cake and crumble it all up. And then I like to mix just 2 cups at a time. So I do 2 cups of cake crumbles and 1/4 of a cup of cream cheese frosting. I usually use a smaller amount of buttercream than that because I like to taste the frosting in the cake pop, but I don't like soggy cake pops. But cream cheese buttercream is thick, so it's actually the perfect amount. And then I just make sure it's forming well, so I know the cake pops won't fall apart. Basically, it should form like Play-Doh, and this one ball here should make between 7 and 8 cake pops approximately. Spirit, it's not done. Give it back. Okay, now we're going to form the actual little cake pop balls. And if you want to make the standard size cake pops, they should be as big as a cookie scooper. And if you're not the best at estimating that, you can go ahead and actually use a cookie scooper to measure it out, which are usually about 1.5 inches in diameter, or you can just eyeball it. Okay, it wasn't that funny, but thank you. It was definitely a courtesy laugh. Oh, we got a laugh out of Spirit. She is warming up, guys. If you guys know any puns, please share them in the comments below. I love puns. They're so dumb. I love it. Oh, these cake pop balls smell so good. So I'm just putting these on a cookie sheet with parchment paper on top, and I'm going to put them in the refrigerator for an hour to chill. So I like to first smush my cake pops together and then form them into a ball and then roll them into a more polished ball and then put them on a tray. If you find your cake pops are breaking in half when you're rolling them out, it's probably because you don't have enough buttercream. But if you find they just have a crack, that usually means that you just didn't smush it together enough before you started rolling it. Oh, hey, Spirit, good to see you. You kind of look like you're hovering over those cake balls, ready to steal one. Patience, my friend, patience. Spirit can pretty much materialize into anything, and she's quite the prankster, so yeah, it's basically every day is Halloween here in my house. Really, though, it's not much different than having kids, to be honest. Okay, so guys, I am begging you, please share your ghost stories in the comments. I love hearing ghost stories. Okay, so the next step includes white dipping chocolate. I personally like to use Ghirardelli white vanilla flavored melting wafers for this because it tastes so good. It's not synthetic at all. And I don't have to add any vegetable shortening to thin it out. So just follow the directions on the back of your box how to melt them. I use the microwave. To be completely safe, you just start with 30 seconds on 50% power and see what happens and go from there. Because you want to make sure you don't overheat them, because then they'll just get hard and even brown. And if it looks like half of them are melted on the bottom and half aren't melted at the top, just try whisking it first before you try to heat it more, because a lot of times just whisking it together will melt all the wafers. And I only melt 1 cup of wafers at a time. So as long as it's running off the whisk well and it's looking pretty smooth, you're ready to go. So we've chilled our cake balls for an hour, take them straight out of the refrigerator, and now's a good time to reshape them if need be, because they're still pliable, but they're stronger because they're chilled. Dip your lollipop stick in the white chocolate just to get the teeniest amount of white chocolate on it, and then you can just insert it straight down into the cake ball about halfway through the cake ball. And I like to twist it in just to put a little less pressure on the ball. The reason we put the stick in straight down is so that chocolate doesn't slide down the ball. But it dries really fast, so don't worry. As soon as you do that, you can flip it back over. And then I like to stick them in a cake pop stand or some styrofoam. And the stick dries really quick in the cake ball, so you can go ahead and start dipping the entire cake balls in the chocolate right away. Spirit, get off my laptop. That is just lazy haunting. Look at you eating chips. And there's chips all over my keyboard. Ghosts, I tell ya. All they have is time on their hands. I like to pour the white chocolate into a coffee mug. It should still be warm, but you can warm it up at 10-second intervals on 50% power if you need to warm it a bit. And just go ahead and dip it in and make sure to cover everything. Really the only trick here is to let all the chocolate drip off the cake pop. Once it gets all close to dripping off, I like to turn it to the side a little bit and kind of shake it back and forth so that it doesn't cool in one spot, making a bump. And the reason I move it to the side is because if there is going to be a bump, I'd rather have it on the bottom of the cake, and that's where it's going to drip to anyways, so it'd be a shorter bump. And then put it in your styrofoam or on your cake pop stand to dry. This should only take about 10 minutes. If you're seeing some excess chocolate dripping down the stick, you can just wipe it off with your hands. These are for Frankenstein's monster. I have to keep making more and more and more because this dog keeps eating them. Right out of his eye socket. Tragic. I think his name's Victor Frankenstein, isn't it? It's alive! Alright, our cake pops are ready. Now we just have to turn them into eyeballs. He prefers green eyes, so I'm going to color some white fondant green, putting vegetable shortening on my hands so they don't stick. And then roll it into a ball. Put cornstarch down on your working surface and your roller. You can roll your fondant out pretty thin and then cut out some circles. I use the smallest circle in my circle cookie cutter set, which is 1 inch in diameter. And then put them under some plastic wrap so they don't dry out before you put them on your eyeballs. Make sure you're using gel-based icing color, not like liquid thin food coloring. I use Wilton Kelly Green icing color. Next, we need to make our pupils. I buy a small pack of black fondant instead of coloring the fondant because it's a pain to color the fondant black. And just roll it out the same way you did the green. And then I use the biggest circle in my mini circle cutter set. Or you can make your own mini circle cutter with a boba straw or milkshake straw. Just cut a little piece off the end of the straw and you have a circle cookie cutter. Now we're going to put these pupils right onto the irises right away so that they'll stick without having to use water. These circles are a little more than 1/4 of an inch in diameter. If your pupils look a little too small, you can kind of smush them on and they'll get a little bigger. And now it's time to put them on our cake pops. All you have to do is paint a little water on the back of the green and it'll stick on your cake pop. It should only take about 5 minutes to dry. And while that's drying, you can make that little white reflection in the pupil with your leftover buttercream using a number 4 tip. Now it's time to make the eyeball realistic. Oh my gosh, is that Italian now? I don't know what I'm doing. My accents just are all over the place. Spirit, cancel the thunder and lightning. Apparently we're making a meatballs, not eyeballs. Okay, just stop. So now we're going to color the rest of our buttercream red. Again, using icing color. And another thing to note is red icing color tends to be bitter. So make sure you use one that doesn't have a taste. I used Wilton No Taste Red. And then I'm going to use a number 2 tip for these eyeball veins, because we're going to want them pretty thin. So the veins are natural and not perfect, so you don't have to be perfect with it. Just a quick little piping tip here though. You should start the vein in the back of the eyeball and then bring it to the front, because this way we can make the end of the vein go to a point, because we can pull the piping bag gradually away to make the point. But you don't have to do this, and you don't have to do this with every single vein. I didn't. And then I made some single veins, some branch out, and then on about half of them I actually did the whole gross optical nerve thing, continuing a bunch of veins in the back and then continuing them down the stick, kind of dangling around the stick. Spirit, you can come have one now. Oh my gosh, she's so excited she's causing an earthquake. Calm down, Spirit. Here you go. Here's your cake pop. So don't forget, guys, these have cream cheese frosting, so they can only be out of the refrigerator for 4 hours. Oh my gosh, these taste so good. How are these so adorable? They're so grotesque. Guys, please send me pictures. I want to see your eyeballs. That sounds weird. And let me know in the comments what you'd like me to make next. Spirit, thank you so much for joining us. You guys, let me know in the comments if you want Spirit to come back for another Halloween video next year. Oh gosh, Frankenstein's coming to pick up his eyeballs. I gotta go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Say goodbye, Spirit.
Goodbye.